Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3. I'd like to take a moment before we begin to thank the community for helping to save the life of one of our tavern cats, Momo. There are a few anonymous donors who I'm very thankful for. You know who you are, so I'd like to thank the following for donating to our GoFundMe: Steve Spalding, Okori H., Jessica Morris, Sally Pritchard, Stephen Straple and Griffin Norman of the Hideous Laughter podcast, Eric Kaiser, Crux F., Gavin Phillips, Josh, aka Saverick, and Tim Demuse of Filmore's Crossing. It's thanks to all of you fine folks that Momo got her emergency surgery and is on the mend. Here is a little thank you from her. Now, let us begin, as our party lays down to sleep in the Blackfish Tavern. Last time on Dungeon Ball Z, y'all had come together and cleared out a small section of sewer as well as the basement / cellar of the Blackfish, and gotten your reward of 150 gold split amongst you, as well as free room, board, food, drink, all that stuff, from the Blackfish, at least for a reasonable amount of time. You'd also gotten various things done. I believe Lark is working on an outfit for Adira. You Leaf had made a donation to the church and received a job from them to go to Starlight and retrieve some wood for them so that they could do repairs. Brock had received a letter from some of his traveling companions from a long-ish time ago, saying that they were going to be in Starlight for the end-of-year festivities, and while that's a while off, it seems that the group altogether is having various reasons to move on from this place and head that direction, which makes it convenient. Riley is looking for Victoria, his childhood love interest, and Lark is in search of a man with red eyes like his. Did I miss anything?
Nope, that sounds about right.
Oh, and Box is following Leaf. That's his motivation.
Correct.
And I'm there also.
Yeah, Foresight's like, I want to write about Adira.
Yeah, pretty accurate.
He's been shanghaied, kind of like peer pressured into this group almost.
Yeah.
That peer pressure's a bitch, I tell you. So, as we left off, you were all going to bed. Now, with the rains outside, thunder crashing across the scope of the city every now and again, it doesn't really bother you anymore, having been here for a little while. And you all drift off to sleep. But not all of you are sleeping soundly. Brock, your dreams are vivid, strange. They fade in and out and become ever more absurd and frightening. You see your family down in Aidenfell. You see them running, screaming, as enormous monsters, Duragar and Drow, overtake your home. Then it becomes strange, and the rocks themselves start to shapeshift and morph and become odd creatures, things that don't look like they should be alive, that don't look like they should exist. And they begin fighting back, but not entirely against the monsters, the Drow and the Duragar. They're attacking your family, they're attacking your clan. Your dream shifts to the surface, the place where you were felled by orcs. And then they're attacking them, and they're looming over you, their freakish visages causing you great stress and terror. Until After a moment, the freakish creatures around you begin to back away. You're utterly surrounded in every direction. They begin to back away, and a path opens. What do you do?
He would hesitate, kind of fearfully look at these giant creatures that he has seen destroy his home. But he would slowly begin to walk the open path, keeping an eye out and make sure none of these creatures move.
In no meaningful way do they approach you. You walk down this path, it winds, even spiraling outward. After a few minutes of walking, you find an opening, a clearing of these creatures. Inside this clearing rise 8 spires of stone and flesh. Impaled upon each one of them the orcs that almost killed you. Standing in the center, a strange creature, nearly humanoid, but its arms are grotesque and long, its pink, pulpy flesh twisted and distorted, its wide open mouth filled with gnashing teeth, and it has no eyes where its eyes should be, but 2 great bulbous wings sprout from its back, and they are covered in eyes. It's at that moment that you wake up in a sickened sweat, and I need you to make a fortitude save.
9.
Okay. You take... Ooh, that's bad. You take 3 con damage, and you take
God.
1 dex damage.
Oh, God.
You have filth fever.
Oh, that. Oh, God.
And you were just having a terrible fever dream. But even Brock is not the only one with strange dreams that night. Going back into the other room, Foresight sleeping soundly. Adira, however, tosses and turns. In her dream, the world is dark. An eclipsed sun hangs overhead, and it is silent. Oh, so very silent. Too quiet. Nothing natural can happen here. Panic begins to set in because you know where you are, and as a scream of a tortured soul being captured nearby sets you off, what does Adira do?
Runs the other fucking direction.
Adira runs and runs. However, unlike her memories, unlike when she was there, she begins to tire. She can't keep her breath. Shadows shift in the surroundings. A great tower in the distance, pumping billowous smoke and putrid fumes. You see shadows eclipsed against it, moving toward you. You can't catch your breath. You get closer and closer and closer. You wake up with a scream. I need Foresight to make a perception check. Alright, you would definitely be startled awake by this sound. Adira jolting straight up out of her bed. A shrill scream. And I would... Well, actually, I'll need everybody else to make a perception, too. Well, fuck everybody. Go ahead and call those out.
Riley got 10.
Foresight rolled a 19.
Leaf got a 22.
I got a 21.
I had a 22.
So, Brock, you find that your dream was interrupted. Perhaps it was going somewhere else, but a shrill scream woke you from this fever dream. Lark, you were dreaming too, but this will have woken you as well. Leaf, you hear a scream from next room and are bolted awake. So the only person left sleeping is Riley.
Perfect.
She's just...
That sounds about right.
Wore himself out with those were rats.
But a moment ago, A moment ago, Lark was still sleeping. Lark was still dreaming. His dream starts out not unlike Adira's, in a dark place with an eclipsed sun overhead. But this sun is not the dull orange of Abaddon. The sun is a blood red. You stand on a small island of ash and dirt, surrounded by a sea of thick black fluid. There is barely a sound of rushing air around you as you sit up and find yourself on this small island. Nothing in the distance, just a eclipsed red sun hanging overhead. What do you do?
And you said around me is just like black pools. Is that what it is?
Like you're in the middle of a sea of this black, viscous fluid. Yes.
How deep in it am I?
You are on a small island of like ash and dirt.
Oh, I understand. Okay, how big is my little island?
It's only about 8 feet across in every direction.
Okay. I look around. How vivid is this experience to me?
It is very vivid. It is as if you are there.
Interesting.
You do not realize that you are dreaming.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so I will approach, I guess, the shore of my little island.
As you do, the black fluid nearby begins to bubble.
Do I detect any smells?
It has a acrid scent, somewhat like tar, but not quite. It also has this sickening, deep scent that reminds you of death, but only slightly.
Okay. Do I have anything on me?
You have whatever you were sleeping.
Okay. Regardless, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a handful of ash, and I will basically sprinkle it inside of the tar. Like, how does it react? Does it sort of like stick to the surface? Does it like bubble down? Does it like evaporate in a puff of smoke?
The liquid begins to froth and agitate, almost like vinegar and baking soda.
All right. Well, that's not good. I back off.
And it begins to spread. And you see the face of your sister, the face of your mother. They float to the surface as this frothing subsides.
I reach for them.
As you reach for them, their arms too will come out of the slime and grip onto your arms and begin to pull you inward. But they stop. They don't submerge you.
Okay.
As you look around, you see the entirety of your clan. Their faces begin to surface. They look like they're asleep.
All right.
But then a great surge of this fluid begins to lift up as if something massive were surfacing. And it breaks. A great shelled monstrosity. It holds some resemblance to an armadillo, but only vaguely. And it is many, many times larger than yourself. Its eyes are closed as it rises up out of the dark, gooky fluid. When
Am I
they
attached
open-
to this thing in any way?
You're not attached to it,
Okay.
but your mother and sister's arms are still holding you into the slime.
Okay.
It raises up, and its eyes are still closed, but it halts. It stops rising. It looks like its legs are still beneath the surface. Do you do anything in particular at this point?
How is my clan family reacting to this? Like my tar family, rather.
They are not. Once again, they act as if they are asleep.
Okay. In that case, I would not react one way or the other. I would just basically like look up at this thing because I don't want to break the connection that I have to my ancestors here. But at the same time, I'm slightly concerned about this giant menacing figure. Does it seem aggressive at all?
It has not taken any physical action.
Okay. Plus, I don't really have anywhere to go, so I just look at it.
All right. After a moment, its eyes will open. They're strange. The pupils are almost square, each corner spiraling off throughout the iris, The iris itself, a crimson red, shocked with a sharp orange color.
All right.
And you hear in a very deep voice, "You are the last. You are mine."
I'm the last what?
Shouldn't dare know. You cursed your clan, and you shall pay. And at this point, the faces of your clan, they begin to stir. They begin to stand up out of the slime as if it were only a mere inch thick. And they start to twitch, moan, scream even. They begin to coalesce around you, grabbing you, and shoving you under the dark fluid. You gasp and try to breathe, and then there's a scream that doesn't fit someone else's scream, and you start awake.
All right.
So, Riley, happily sleeping off a dream about were-rats. Or something else, maybe. Everyone else, however, has started awake at Adira's scream in the other room. What is everybody doing?
Well, Brock would jump up immediately from his own dream and then recognize the scream, but with the hit he just took from this fever, he's probably not even really able to get up. He's probably trying, but he's probably struggling to.
Yes, your body being very much in a state of almost delirium, as you are not up to 100% in your dexterity has taken a hit as well. You're clumsy and fall out of bed before being able to stand. Foresight.
Okay. Forsyth immediately jumps up and moves over to Adira's side, asking her, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" He's extremely nervous, and there's genuine fear across his face as he's really, really unsure what to do, and doesn't know that was a pretty terrifying scream. He's unaccustomed to people having nightmares.
Adira would take a couple of seconds to catch her breath. I'm sorry. I've escaped the physical reality of Abaddon, but it seems that I cannot escape it in my dreams.
Are you all right? Okay.
I will be. They can't go on forever, right?
I presume nothing goes on forever.
Adira,
Yes.
you're less familiar, save for your memories of the Queen. You're very unfamiliar with the people of this world. But you are familiar with the people of other planes. Go ahead and give me a knowledge planes check.
Okay. That's... I click the little gear. Is that what I click?
No, you click the skill itself, the name.
The name is. Okay. So that's a 21.
All right. So you realize, it takes you a moment, but seeing his face, the almost glow about him, even here in the dark, that Foresight isn't what he perhaps initially appears to be. He's not this somewhat elven fellow, half-elf or some descendant thereof. But he's touched by celestial blood, and you can tell that. You can feel it from him in this moment. That he is very likely an Azamar.
It's not something he's told the group. She's not going to call him out on it.
All right.
From my point of view, when I wake up and everything, I don't know if everybody's paying attention to the whole scream and everything, but Lark is going out for a walk at this point.
Okay. When you first wake up, of course, Riley's just...
Yep.
So you go to exit your room. Go ahead and make me a perception check, ITD.
Will do. So just bring it up here. Okay. Already had it up. Okay. Perception. That is a result of 12.
Result of 12. You would hear from the next room to you as you exit some clambering and struggle, like somebody fell out of bed.
Okay.
What is Leaf and Box doing?
If he hears the shout, then that's where he'd be headed. If, you know, the first thing he hops up and he, like, checks to whoever's in the room. I forget who I was boarding with.
Brock.
Yep. Is Brock present?
Well, he would have been the one. He woke up just before her, and he clambered up, but he's feeling extremely ill, so he would have fallen out of bed.
Okay. But from, like, his sleepy recollection, the shout would have come from outside the room, right?
Yes. You would have realized that it came from the next room.
Okay, so I guess like he hops up and he goes to check with Brock. And he's readying himself to say, you know, oh, did you see that, or did you hear that? And then he sees that this fellow's rolled out of the bed himself, and so I'd like to go over and I guess check to make sure he's okay. Like, is he awake? Is he aware?
Yes, he's not like unconscious or anything.
I would probably be sweating, just one from the dream and two from the fever. But I would hold up a hand and I'd just be like, go, see what that was.
All right, and he just, you know, kind of gives military style bark toward Box, and he says, Box, come, and plows through the door out into the hallway.
All right. So Lark, you've passed through your door already, and we're heading down the stairs when
That's right.
another door behind you busts open and you hear the sounds of running, heading down the hallway.
Okay. I generally ignore it because I have other more pressing things on my mind right now. The large dream would have particularly disturbed.
All right. So you continue downward.
I would probably be visibly upset.
All right. So you continue down into the tavern. Meanwhile, Leaf and Box, you run to the third door, and it is locked. What do you do?
Leaf just looks at Box and he points at the door. Thankfully, you know, sapling treants get double damage versus objects, so he's gonna take it to Pound Town.
All right. Go ahead and roll an attack and damage for his slam. I believe it
And
is.
while he's doing that, Brock would be trying to get to his feet, get over there. It would probably take him a moment.
Okay.
This is knocking up until the door comes apart.
All right. So y'all can hear like running coming up just outside the door, and then there's just a big wooden fist that goes through the door and leaves a little hole.
Is everything okay?
Yo.
Yes.
There's another scream. Ah!
This one comes from Foresight.
What was that shouting?
Sorry. I'll go open what's left of the door. Sorry. It was just a nightmare.
Did I see who was it that was walking out as I was like strolling towards the door?
Make a perception. I will apply any bonuses or penalties to it.
Okay, that's gonna be a 17.
17. You would have noticed with a brief glance that Lark, who looked visibly very disturbed and worried, was heading down the stairs.
There has to be more than this. Brock looks ill. He's fallen out of bed, and Lark seems to be troubled, and he's muttering to himself as he walks out. Are you sure you're okay?
I'm okay. Foresight, if somebody's ill, perhaps you should check on them. You're a healer, right?
I'll see what I can do.
I guess I'll lead him back over.
All right.
Lark was acting strange. I spotted him on his way out. He seemed to be withdrawn within himself.
Meanwhile, Lark, you hit the tavern floor, and not in a, like a violent way. You just
Yeah.
reached the tavern floor, and you would notice that the sleepy man in the corner, or that's normally in the corner rather, is standing behind the bar. He looks very perplexed and is coming out from behind. He's like, "Hey, you! What's going on up there?"
I head out the door.
What? He just very incredulous, and he starts running up the stairs.
All right.
So, is there anywhere in particular you're going, or are you just gonna wander the streets?
Right now, what I'm doing is I'm wandering the streets, basically trying to get a hold of myself. Like I said, would probably have been a very disturbing dream for Lark. He's probably just trying to rationalize it at the moment. No, it's probably just a nightmare. It's probably just like my own fears coming back to me, and yada 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 yada. He's rationalizing it away. Can I give you a will save just to give me a general idea of how long it would take for Lark to get his wits back about him?
Absolutely.
Okay, that is a critical failure.
I think that's probably going to be bugging you for quite a while. I don't know that you'll be able to shake it this evening.
Yeah, that was a very very realistic dream. So Lark's gonna be gone for the next 24 hours.
Okay. Meanwhile, Leaf, you're leading Foresight back to your room where... Oh, I need Riley to make a perception again.
Oh, I can do that. Maybe. 17.
You heard a loud crash as a Trent punched through a door. And you start awake. Lark is not in your room. The door is left slightly ajar. And you can hear the sounds of shuffling and whatnot outside.
Well, this is all certainly shady, so the immediate reaction is go for the rapier and head outside.
As you open the door, a man comes barreling up the stairs towards you. You recognize him, despite your haze. He is the sleepy man from the corner of the bar.
I tell him to halt, and what is going on here?
That's what I'm trying to find out. What the hell's going on here? Why have you got your weapon drawn?
I heard a loud crash. Things seem ominous.
As did I. He looks over. What's going on here?
Brock would finally make it into the doorway. He would look out. He would go, "What's going on here?"
What is going on here? Riley yells down the hall.
It was a dream. Okay, I had a nightmare. I have nightmares because of my past. I didn't mean to upset everybody.
Yes, but where is Lark?
I don't know.
As I was saying, I believe I saw him walking out as the shouting happened.
Curious.
I'll go see if I can find him.
Meanwhile, I think we should tend to Brock. He appears to be ill. He was sweating.
No, it was merely a dream. I should be fine. It's nothing.
He doesn't look fine. His normally dark, earthen skin is ashy, almost sandy looking, and he's wavering on his feet.
Foresight, do you think you'll be able to tend to him? Despite his protest, and I just kind of shoot a glare his way.
I'm actually looking for the DC on how to identify disease.
It's a heal check against the DC of the disease.
That's how to treat it. I didn't see identifying it.
Just roll a heal and hope the number's real big.
I mean, I guess.
If it's big enough, he might just go, "Yeah, that works."
Not so big. That'd be a 9.
It's not a disease you're familiar with, or perhaps it's just not presenting in this strange earthen man in a way that you're familiar with. But he is definitely ill. He is running a fever.
You prescribe he should drink more water.
Huh. Well, he's most certainly ill. I'm not entirely certain of the illness. So I do know that if I could get some herbs, I could make a general cure-all. Perhaps we should bring him to the church to better identify whatever's ailing him.
As I said, it was. I just woke from a dream. It should pass soon. It was quite a horrible dream, though.
But you still seem to be sweating profusely even after the dream. Unless it was truly terrifying, one would most certainly attribute that to being ill rather than just a moment of terror.
Feel his forehead. He's feverish.
I would like to self-diagnose if possible. I roll a heal check on myself.
It's cancer.
That's a 12. Do I trust their judgment?
You're pretty sure that because like the places where you were bitten, though the wounds are closed, they're throbbing, and like the pain, there's some pain that like radiates out of that. You're pretty sure that those rats biting you probably infected you with something. You've seen this happen before in places of particular squalor as well as filth fever.
Okay. Then at your protest, I would kind of look myself over, and I would be like, maybe you are right. Maybe I should. Maybe going to the church wouldn't be so bad.
Better safe than sorry, no?
That is a wise philosophy.
All right, so Adira's running off after Lark. What is Riley doing?
So Riley's going to, assuming Adira like immediately ran off, he's going to rush back to his room to like throw on a cloak or something so that he's at least kind of appropriately dressed, and then rush after her just because it's late.
All right, so y'all get outside. Go ahead and make me a perception check. And Lark, were you just going for a walk? Were you running? Were you trying to put as much distance between you and here as quickly as possible?
I'm moving very quickly. I wouldn't quite say I'm running. I'd say it's somewhere between a walk and a run without quite counting as a jog. I don't know if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, you're hustling then.
Yeah.
Like a fast walk, like a hustle.
Yeah.
All right. So that would put you at 120 feet. All right. So neither of you notice him specifically, but Adira, you do notice someone walking very far down the alley at a quickened pace, just before they turn down another side street.
I will take off that way.
All right.
Riley follows.
Tell me 1, 2, 3, or 4. Adira and Riley.
2.
I like 3.
All right. So y'all get to another point. Y'all make the same junction that you saw the person turn around and travel down that way. Make perceptions.
13.
18 again.
All right. So, Adira, you're pretty sure you see someone continuing down this main march that you're going down, but because you see both people, like there's someone going down another way, there's someone going down, and you've got a good feeling that it's the person going down. Riley, you see a person, though you're not sure if it's Lark. Neither of you are sure absolutely that it's Lark, but you're pretty sure it's the other person. As far as like your gut feeling, both of your guts are telling you two different directions.
I will just follow my gut.
And I'm following her since she seems to be making the judgment calls here.
All right. And are y'all like hustling or are y'all running?
Oh yeah, she's not sure what else going on. She's in a hurry.
All right.
Sounds fair to me.
I mean, she was screaming. There were sick people. There's people missing. There's people with weapons drawn.
All right. Lark, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Yes, sir. I got a 14 on my perception.
All right. You would have turned around at some point after turning down yet another alley, and saw a couple of people rush past, but you weren't sure who they were. So you turn and keep walking.
Yeah, I'm basically I have no particular aim right now. My goal is just to get away and be alone with my thoughts.
All right. So Adira, you and Riley are able to catch up to this person who's moving a little bit slower. They just seem to be trying to get from point A to point B without getting too sodden. But the person is not, when you go up and put your hand on their shoulder or call out to them, and they turn.
Oh,
it
yeah,
is
I do not touch the
Lark.
person. I've never had any physical interactions with anybody, not handshake, nothing. So she definitely would not touch them.
All right.
Riley would take lead on that.
It is not Lark. It is a it's a woman as opposed to the person you were looking for. She's like, "Can I help you?"
My apologies. I thought you were someone else.
"Well, no, I'm not someone else. I'm me." And she kind of like nervously backs away and like continues down the stairs.
How suspicious. I'll yell after her just to see if she ran into anyone else wandering around late at nights. Maybe point us in the right direction.
Some young boy back up a ways. I'll pass by him. He went a different direction.
Sure, if she gives general directions, that should be decent enough to follow up on.
Like, that's literally just what she tells you.
That is less than decent to follow up on.
the way.
But that's okay.
Like, she kind of like points up the stairs, but she's generally making her way away from you.
That's understandable.
Because it is like the back alleys and stuff, and while technically this is the middle of the night for y'all, it might not be for other people.
Fair enough. Riley looks at Adira and asks, shall we continue trying?
Let's try to find him.
We make haste.
All right. Go ahead and give me a survival check, each of you.
Do I have to have ranks to roll that or no?
No.
How about 6?
Hey, I got an 18.
That's not bad. So while you're not able to find any tracks, you do like kind of take what she told you and like what you saw earlier into account, and you find the alley where you saw Lark before, and give me your 1 through 4s.
I'll stick with 2.
I'm staying with 3.
Okay. Perceptions, please.
19 this time.
I only got an 11.
So you come to another junction. You see someone heading back up as opposed to down. Very faintly in the distance through the rain. Adira, you don't see anybody in particular other than Riley. And your gut's telling you that this is the right way, that's probably Lark up there.
Well, Riley is a man who listens to his gut. Let's give chase.
Alright. So you run up, but they had turned away just as soon as you started giving chase. So give me another perception.
Just Riley or me too?
You two.
I had a 14.
A 6. I'm getting worse at this. I'm going
You
blind.
slowly care less of us. You're pretty sure you're too important to be out doing this. This is somebody else's job.
No, I pretended to be blind for so long, it's actually happening.
Alright, so you run up and you see probably 60 feet away this figure. Would Lark have slowed down by this point at all?
Probably not.
Alright. So still making like haste to some degree. walking very quickly, but not running. You see a figure down one of the alleys, head down, moving forward.
Well, I suppose. Well, he sees it. I don't. I don't see shit.
Adira, you don't see shit. Yeah.
Pointing out that direction, turning to Adira, Riley's going to ask, as a point of thought, can you do that thing with the lights again, and maybe shoot them ahead of us to try to get this person's attention?
Dancing lights then, as far away as I can get them without them fading.
Lark, give me a perception.
Yes, sir. Perception. I have a result of 15.
All right. Even with all the penalties, that is enough. You would notice that some light has appeared behind you, and is like casting forward into your sides, and that behind you, several orbs of light are floating, and you can kind of make out a couple of people. One of which you're able to recognize Adira just because of how fucking pale she is, or her hair is rather.
Okay, fair enough. I look around. What kind of buildings are around me?
A lot of these are residential. But you are able to notice a small, it looks like a shop that might be open.
How many stories high?
2.
Okay, is there a lot of like clutter or like drain pipes or stuff like that? Basically, I'm looking to climb up on top of the building.
There's enough. Probably is best to climb the building next to it and then get up on it.
Okay, fair enough. But like, I'm not going to be attempting any like difficult thing. Like, I'm not attempting to climb up the sheer wall. But does any area look like it would be a relatively easy climb?
Yes.
Okay, so I will attempt to climb that.
All right, go ahead and give me a climb, or take 10, your option.
Okay, I will give you a climb check. I got a 15 on my climb check.
15. All right, you are able to just barely make it
Okay.
up a little bit and onto the roof of the shorter building. The rain makes it very difficult to get a good grip, but you manage.
Okay, fair enough. And I continue my wandering, this time jumping from rooftop to rooftop.
All right. Riley and Adira, give me a perception.
24.
5.
Adira, even with the lights, you don't see shit. That rain is just like blinding the shit out of you. Riley, on the other hand, you see him look back, and you can actually see that it is Lark. He quickly looks around and darts up the side of a wall and onto the ceiling, or onto the ceiling.
That's impressive. Okay.
Onto the roof of a nearby building.
Spider Lark. Spider Lark.
So at this point, since I've seen that it's him and that he's clearly like climbing stuff to get away from us, can I make a sense motive check to get a sense of why?
Yes.
Great. I have a +1 to this, so I'm hoping it goes really well. It doesn't. I got a 9.
He's probably done something terrible. Like, you should probably go back to the inn and check your shit, make sure he didn't steal all your stuff.
Riley looks over to Adira and says, well, he's certainly going to great leaps and bounds to escape from us. I imagine he's either up to no good or running away from something that he's done. I feel inclined to go check some of the stuff I left at the Blackfish Tavern.
All right.
He's really making leaps and bounds.
I try, just for you.
All right. So what's your next course of action?
Unless you disagree, I think perhaps we should return, and we'll see in time if he comes back.
All right. Might as well. I'm soaking wet now. Didn't even think to grab a cloak before we came out in this.
Well, I guess those are the magic words. Riley will give her his cloak.
It's fine. I'm already soaking wet.
And Riley, being the nice guy he is going to give her his cloak, remarking that it's a shame he hadn't thought of it prior.
Thank you.
No problem. And we will make our way back to the Blackfish Tavern.
Meanwhile, back at Blackfish, Riley and Adira had run off. Brock, Leaf, Box, and Foresight, you are all gathered round room number 2. The sleepy man, whose name you still don't know, is just like, oh god damn, what the hell have you done to the door? Oh god, oh shit, we need to be quiet, or Carla's gonna hear us, she's gonna wake up and she's gonna come up here and we're all fucking dead, you understand?
This is nothing that can't be easily fixed. In fact, I'm quite the carpenter. I can have it back in one piece by morning.
Alright, if you can do that, yes, please do. Because I do not need to deal with this.
I could magically repair the door.
Yep, consider it done.
Please do. Either way, if she sees that, I'm in trouble. You're in trouble. We're all in fucking trouble. You understand? Supposed to watch the fucking place while she sleeps. Shit.
Gonna go ahead and start casting mending.
Alright.
I will do so as well.
Don't stop all the ruckus. You hear? Shit. And he goes back downstairs.
Well, I think I'm gonna leave you two to that. I am gonna go lay down.
Okay.
And Brock will go back and lay down.
Alright.
He feels terrible.
Now y'all can attempt to treat his illness if you want. Leaf, you would be available for that at the moment.
Yeah, I can definitely make a heal check. I'd also like to, like bring him water and stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, that's a 10 on the healerino.
So, you don't happen to have anything on you that would help extraordinarily, so you bring him water, and make sure he stays hydrated, you just try and help him along in that way. But, it's fairly basic care, that you provide. And, go ahead and roll for mending, Foresight.
Do you roll for that, or doesn't it just happen?
It's 1d4.
Oh, yeah, the actual HP.
Yeah. So, like, it, comes back together. It's a little dented in, kinda. Like, right where his fist kinda hit it. But, it's whole for the most part again.
Would I think that there's a chance that if I were to continue, I might be able to repair that dent as well?
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, he'll go ahead and try to make it as good as when they got there.
Alright. Alright, so... you finish that in about 20 minutes then, because it only has 1 hit point remaining to be healed, so you can't not do it. What do you do after you're done fixing the door?
Tries to go to sleep for like 5 minutes, realizes that everyone's kind of everywhere and that he can't get back to sleep, and then he just kind of like paces, waiting for people to get back.
Alright.
Puts on clothes.
So while you're actually laying down trying to sleep, Riley and Adira, you will return to the Blackfish.
Wait, what's the name of the tavern again?
Blackfish.
The Blackfish Tavern?
Yes, the Blackfish
okay.
Tavern. Are you just trying to get people drunk?
I'm trying real hard, man.
Well, actually, when I would be brought ale in the bed, or when I would be brought water, I would actually sip it, and kind of not feeling better, I would hold it back out, and I would say ale would probably be better for the dwarven blood.
I was not aware of that particularity of your biology, but I'll be sure to fetch some.
Thank you, Grace.
Alright, so you go downstairs to get him some ale. Alright, so you go downstairs and the one man is standing there. He's like, "Alright, what you need something?"
An ale for my ill friend, please.
Ale for the ale. Alright. Yeah. Carlos said y'all got 3 drinks, so yeah. And he'll pour an ale and give it to you.
Thank you. And I'll just fetch it and take it back up.
Alright.
And he would be thanked as he quickly drank the ale.
So, Riley and Adira, you come back to the Blackfish.
Yeah, when we get inside, I'll give Riley his cloak back. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
And then I will probably just go upstairs, get out of these wet clothes, and go back to bed.
Okay. When you enter, Foresight seems to be trying to sleep rather ineffectively.
Actually, as soon as you get back, he'll talk to himself for like a good 3 seconds, and they'd be like, "Okay, yeah, I got this break out." Is everyone back now?
Lark is still missing.
Where
We,
were people?
We saw him, but he was running away. Riley said that he thinks maybe he did something bad and is trying to run off and not get caught.
Oh, that's concerning. Were people stirring outside? Were people like up?
Not many. We saw another woman, but that was it really.
Okay.
Which the back streets are not very busy. It's mainly the main roads that throughout all hours are going to be particularly heavily trafficked.
I think I'm gonna go see if there's anyone else up at the church, because one of us is ill, and maybe they could help.
Are you gonna be all right by yourself? Do you need company?
I don't know. I would hope so, but I don't know.
I'll go with you.
I would appreciate that.
Alright, Riley, what are you doing?
So Riley's first order of business is head upstairs, and on his way to go check on his equipment, he probably pauses in front of the room and decides to step to the room over to see, to check in on Brock, see how he's doing.
He's chilling in bed with a half-empty ale.
Riley half whispers from the doorway, "You certainly look comfortable."
Well, an ale always makes one feel better.
So you're feeling better then?
Not considerably, but as much as an ale would do.
Well, hopefully it begins to clear up in the morning. Rest well, friend.
If not, I can always stop by the church and see what they can do.
Truly, it's an amazing world that we live in. Riley will bid him a good evening and go check on his stuff to see what Lark may or may not have stolen.
Alright, give me a perception check.
Well, I hope I fail this one too, because that'll be funny. 20.
You don't see that anything's missing. It looks like everything's there. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
5.
On the other hand,
Yes, go on.
on the other hand, maybe he stole his own stuff.
Curiously, no, I actually haven't taken any of my stuff.
Well, so the unfortunate thing is I don't know.
Some of his stuff is missing. Those clothes he was wearing, they're gone.
Oh man, how incredulous.
Well, I suppose then if he doesn't return by maybe about midday the next day, I can just claim all his stuff because he's probably never coming back.
Oh, man. If he doesn't claim it in 5 minutes, legally it's yours.
Poor Lark. He started this all off by getting kicked out of a hotel, and now everybody thinks he's a thief.
And they're gonna steal
Stole
his
his own
stuff in
stuff.
return.
Yeah, Lark, so if you could just shoot me a list of your equipment, that'd be great.
You want to list my equipment?
No, I'm okay. I'll probably kick around some of his stuff just out of curiosity before Riley sheds the soaking wet clothing he's wearing and attempts to lay back down.
All right. Is there anything in Lark's stuff that he left behind that would stick out as particularly interesting?
Maybe the Shadestone. I probably would have left back my vial case. And other than that, it's just like clothes and stuff. Really nice tailoring kit.
Oh, so it's true. He is good with clothing.
Yeah. He does look like he has the legitimate trappings of a tailor, and a decent or good one at that. His kit that he works with is particularly well made.
Well then, interesting he'd leave that behind. He'll probably be returning then. But we'll see.
Okay. So, Lark, you're out wandering around. And I need anybody who's staying awake to make a fortitude save.
Brock is gonna finish his ale and go to sleep.
Riley was laying down and drifting off. I'm not sure if he'd be asleep by now or not. That's up to you.
18.
I'll give you a fortitude save, but would I get any bonuses to this roll given my current state of restlessness?
No, because it's not like you fail and you fall asleep. It's just this.
Okay, because I
determines whether or not
probably
you
failed.
come- Right.
I rolled a
This
six.
is like you're fatigued.
Okay.
I think actually not exhausted, but
Yeah, fatigue would be before exhausted.
Foresight rolled a 17.
all right. So Lark got a 6. Adira, you'll be fine. Foresight will be fine. And you two, I believe, we're heading off to the church.
Yep.
I take it the Church of Abadar, as nobody's gone to any other churches.
Which I will grab my cloak this time.
All right.
Yeah, and I believe I stated earlier that I was actually getting dressed this time.
No skivvy healing?
Not this time, unfortunately. That's for Tuesdays.
That's for Tuesday.
When's Tuesday?
Looks at calendar. No Tuesday on here.
Damn!
I suppose the rough equivalent to Tuesday would be, Grende?
Alright then. Skivvy healings on Grinde. And yes, at the Church of Abadar, as there is no other church as far as Foresight is aware currently.
Alright. It's also the closest, so.
Yeah.
You head there. Father Asher is not present at the moment. However, in the quiet of these hours, there are a few folk sitting around in the pews, either praying or doing related business. But Thawne is sitting over in a chair, looking a little sleepy, but otherwise staying attentive to the needs of anyone.
Well, he's at least got a bit of familiarity here, as he's been here for a while now. He'll simply walk up and, once again, after several seconds of conferring with himself, speak up and say, greetings, at last.
Hello, Foresight. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, though, one of my to-be traveling compatriots has come down with some sort of illness. I was wondering if there would be any medicines or herbs that I might be able to make use of so that I might make a curative for them.
Give me a moment. Let me see what I have. And he'll stand up and kind of shake his head, wipe his eyes. Come with me, Foresight. And he'll lead you into the storage room. So Thon goes about like trying to procure things, but you can give me an herbalist check. Or craft alchemy if you would rather.
Nah. As a matter of fact, I can use herbalism in place of craft alchemy.
That is fair.
That is a 12.
You would be able to look around and pick out a few things, help them along with the procurement of such things. You're not aware of what everything in here is for or does, but you know what you're looking for and you're able to pick it out. You are going to have to do a little bit of finagling because he doesn't have any of an herb you need called Queen's Breath.
I can breathe on it.
Jeez. So you're going to try and create an anti-plague?
Essentially, yeah. Like something that could mechanically give him at least a bonus and possibly a reroll or possibly a reroll to save versus disease.
That you wouldn't happen to have any gold to donate for this. We do get them at a discount, but it's still costly, these herbs.
Of course.
You would know that an appropriate amount, like even if you were just like shelling out at cost, an appropriate amount would be about 15 gold.
Yeah, that's fine. He'll give what he thinks is appropriate.
So Thon will be like, "Thank you very much. I'll let the father know when he wakes. I hope you can help your friend."
Likewise. Thank you.
Not a problem.
And then he will return.
He will return to his chair as you return to the Blackfish.
There's a lot of returning happening.
There is a lot of returning happening.
Returning to the Blackfish Tavern.
Blackfish.
Y'all are just trying to kill people at this point. You're a different kind of murder hobo. You're not trying to kill people in the game, you're trying to kill people in real life.
I have to earn that real life XP. What do you...
How else is he going to level up?
Can I go back to the Blackfish Tavern as well?
Yes,
Wouldn't that make you a bard if you're killing people with your words?
Oh my god.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, yes, probably. Well, bard, scald, mage with any of the power word spells.
I can wake up the tavern cats if y'all like.
Which tavern is that?
The Blackfish Tavern?
Ah, thank you.
Wordcasters can do it from a low level.
Dude, if I was allowed to use that mechanic, I would die.
It's complicated as fuck, but I allow it.
Oh, damn! Damn!
You're upset that you didn't ask now.
Too late.
A little
Can I retroactively play a completely different character?
Don't worry, he's gonna kill us all before it's over with anyhow. So you have your backup character planned.
I'm so good at healing, though. I ruined myself. I guess just put me in an anti-magic zone.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Yep.
You sound ever so slightly more distant.
I am ever so slightly more distant.
Well, I guess that'll do it.
Open up, man. Get a little closer to us. We want to be your friends.
How's this?
Perfect.
Perfect.
They encourage you so much. I'm gonna send you to live with them.
But then I couldn't not wear pants.
That sounds like a personal problem.
I disagree with that. I strongly disagree with that statement.
Yeah, never say never, man.
You disagree with that statement, but it's not because it's outwardly imposed, it's because it's self-imposed.
Let's get weird.
It's only way to make it weird.
He has this thing. It's like My son Josh lives with us. He's our roommate. Anyhow, he if he's home, Sean has to put on pants in the middle of the night to walk out and get him a drink. He will not let anybody see him in his underwear.
I'm just saying, it's the only way to make it weird. We could help you break down those barriers.
Hell, the only reason I own clothes is because Josh still lives at home.
I loved how this has turned into a psychiatric evaluation of why I wear clothes. All right.
Sean, we actually all tricked you into this D&D game. This is an intervention.
Against pants? It's an intervention against pants?
You don't need the pants. They're holding you back. The pants need you.
And we have just unlocked capitalism here, everybody. If nobody buys pants again, we can ruin the system. Okay.
We have a cracked code here.
Fuck.
Here, at the Blackfish.
So, where were we?
The Blackfish.
I believe we were all returning to the Blackfish Inn.
You guys are murderers.
All I know is I was trying to sleep at the Blackfish Tavern.
Okay.
I was also trying to sleep at the Blackfish Tavern.
I was following Trey back to the Blackfish Tavern.
And I was returning to the Blackfish Tavern.
Okay. I regret making that drinking game. Just a little bit. Because we're gonna get fucking sued.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's probably a better idea to make drinking games after we've recorded, so we don't know what you're gonna do.
Well, I mean, technically that's just for that episode. I could just change it up.
Yeah, just don't fucking tell us what it is. Or this is gonna happen every time, because it's really funny.
It's really funny, especially at the Blackfish Tavern.
It's like, right at the beginning of the episode. Warning, we have a drinking game. Don't do it or you'll die, but we've got one.
Perfect.
We have the most extreme drinking game ever. Are you cool enough for it?
I do
Well, it's like you can only play the real one if you're Hideous Laughter Podcast. And like everybody else gets the lightweight. All right, so y'all get back to the Blackfish Tavern.
Yes.
And you're gonna try and make some you's gonna try and make some anti-plague, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so you can attempt to make that. I believe by default it should take you a base of 4 days to complete. Of course, if you exceed, you can make it faster.
It's a DC 25.
Crap, that's a lot.
Yeah. See, it'd be really beneficial if we were level 2, because then I'd actually be able to like invest ranks in it instead of rolling a 4 on the die.
So
You can take 10 on crafting, by the way.
yes, you can.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be a DC 25.
Right, but remember we use a different crafting system. It's not a DC 25.
Oh.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
It's actually a DC 30.
No, give me just a moment. I'll give you the DC.
I will say if it was take 10able, then I would.
It's 18, and I'll give it a +2 material difficulty. So the DC is just 20.
Well, I still don't make it.
Nope, no you don't. In fact, you ruin half of your raw materials.
Sounds about right. Oh well. Next level, I'll actually be good at it.
Right. Well,
Well, hopefully
you
I
will
make
still
it
be
that long.
working on that for a few days before you realize you done fucked up. You begin work on that, or go back to sleep first, whichever is your preference.
Now he's awake, you may as well.
Okay. And you did make your save, so you're good. Everyone else gets the rest of their rest. Is anybody who's still up going to do anything?
I'm going to continue wandering on rooftops.
I'm going back to bed so that I can take these wet clothes off and hang them somewhere to dry.
You mean hang them up so that you can snap at them a couple times?
Yeah, probably, but she's still gonna go back to bed.
Okay. Yes, you have prestidigitation. This is what it is for. That is literally what it is for. I have dirty clothes, I have wet clothes, they're dry, they're clean.
What even is a stain? I've never heard of this.
Yep. So you go back to sleep. Foresight, you spend some time trying to put together this this powerful cure-all, trying to jerry-rig it with missing some of the herbs you need, but not doing quite so well.
Nope.
Lark, let's go to you again. You're hopping rooftop to rooftop, road to road. Eventually, okay. Then when you need to cross the street, give me an acrobatics check.
All right, just give me one moment here.
God damn. You know you can almost cross one of the main streets with that? With a 29?
I know, right? So yes, 29 on my acrobatics check.
I'm just going to use that as a baseline then,
Yeah.
Considering between that and 10 is your average. So you're doing pretty good. You don't fall or even get anywhere close to that, actually. So you keep wandering, hopping roof to roof. You're not trying to hide, though, right?
No, I'm not trying to hide particularly. Like if people spot me, if people start bothering me, or like if I start bothering people, then I will move on. But really, the only thing I'm really looking for right now is solitude.
Okay.
So like I said, I will continue hopping from rooftop to rooftop until I find a Batman perch that I can brood over, and without being disturbed. And I will stay there for a while.
All right. You find a street that looks very vacant, unpatrolled, and not even very well lit at all. So it's very dark there. It's lonesome. The street
Good, it
below
fits
is
my
not
mood.
lit. And there's just the sounds of crashing rain.
Okay. And I will basically find an outcropping, a corner somewhere, and I will sort of like sit down there morosely.
Okay. Eventually, you would hear someone call out from the darkness, probably an hour down the line or so.
Okay.
Are you up there?
I generally don't respond, but I do kind of like look around with my eyes. Do I see anything?
Make me a perception check.
17 on my perception.
You look around, you look down where the sound is coming from, and you see two little points of semi-luminescent light, almost like the light of the moon, but even paler and fainter. You would recognize this as being like someone with dark vision looking directly at you.
Okay. I mean, I kind of keep him in my field of vision, make sure he's not being up to any funny business. If he bothers me enough, I will move on, but for the most part, I just ignore him right now.
He looks up at you, and you can tell he's still looking at you. I said, "Hey, you're mute or something."
Again, generally just continue ignoring, but still keeping an eye on him. Can I give a sense motive? I want to know what generally, like, is this person annoyed? Is this person curious? Is this
yeah, go
person,
ahead.
like, looking out for an opportunity? Like, that's the kind of information I'm looking for. So I'm going to roll you a sense motive here. I didn't roll particularly well. I rolled a 9.
You're not really sure. You feel like, he might be, he might just be curious.
Okay, but even with a 9, I don't detect any overt threatening overtones.
No.
Okay, so again, continue, just...
So, go ahead and roll me another perception check.
Okay. A critical success at 27.
Damn. So you You would lose sight of his eyes, given the darkness. But you would hear him, or someone at least, climbing the wall below you.
Okay, I would probably just stand up at B and be ready to move or run away should the need arise. Given where I hear the climbing coming up from, do I have an escape from there? Am I like kind of trapped? Like
No,
cornered
you're
on
on
this
a
rooftop?
corner. You've got like every other direction to run.
Okay, so basically, I just basically stand up. I don't necessarily like move too much, but I do make sure that I have a an escape route that is available to me.
All right. You'll hear a light grunt as he pulls himself up onto the roof. It's like,
Okay.
fucking kids. What the hell are you doing up here?
Do I have a better view of him now?
Very barely. Some light from down one of the other side streets that you came around is kind of coming up and just barely outlining him. He's relatively slender. He's wearing a cloak. But other than that, you don't really get any definition. You can see his eyes again because he's looking at you.
Yep. I say, can I help you?
Can I fucking help you? You're the one sitting on a roof.
Is this your roof?
Oh, it's not my roof, but you shady motherfucker sitting up here.
So why should you care?
Because I live in this fucking city.
Do you take a passing concerns to everybody's moods in this passing city?
So what, you're just up here brooding?
Again, what is it to you?
Oh, I'm sorry if it looked like you were casing out the house across the street.
I assure you, I have no sights set on that.
Alright. Fair enough. And he'll sit down. So what's your problem anyway?
Again, why should you care? And why should I tell you?
I don't know, because I'm a nice fucking guy. Or maybe you'll never see me again, so it won't matter. He'll pull out a pipe, and with a little, like, it's got like a little awning thing made of metal over it, so that he can smoke it in the rain. And he'll light it up, drag off of it. With the glow, you can kind of get a bit of a look at his face. So, he's human, by first appearance.
Okay.
He's got kind of a maybe late 20s face, a little bit of scraggle on his scraggle of a beard.
Okay.
Pulls the pipe out, hands it kind of towards you. So you smoke.
Okay. I would probably sit down and take a puff.
All right. It's pretty strong. It's not exceptionally high quality or anything, but it's a powerful tobacco.
Fair enough. I would imagine that, like, while not a regular smoker, probably would have smoked here and there in the bars of various substances. But
it's nothing extremely illicit. It's just tobacco.
Yeah. No, I figured as much. So yeah, I would probably sit down and I would say, just my past coming back to haunt me, not a tale I am particularly in the mood to share right now.
Suppose that's fair enough. Can't say I've never felt that way.
I just say,
You from around here, kid?
No.
If you're having a bit of trouble with your past dredging up, I can think of somewhere that might help.
I turn around with kind of a half smile, almost in incredulous fashion, and turn around and, oh really? And where might that be?
It's a little bit higher up from here. It's in the middle district, but not exactly front gate kind of place. It's called the Caltrop. I can take you there if you'd like.
What kind of place is this Caltrop?
Well, you can find all manner of relaxing things there. Fine drinks, fine smokes, and fine women. I've got friends there, if you just want a taste.
I give a little chuckle and say, "Alas, not such a place to fit my mood at the moment. But thank you all the same for the offer." So yeah, I kind of just sit back down and stare back morosely, same as how I was when he found me.
After a couple of minutes, he'll ask you if you've ever had Pesh.
Is this something common? Is this something that my character would have encountered? Is this something my character would be familiar with?
Go ahead and roll me either a alchemy, nature, or local check.
Okay, I will give you a knowledge local. I got pretty high. I got a 26 as a result.
Yes. I'm not sure if you've ever partaken in it before. It's your choice, but Pesh is an opiate-like drug.
Probably not. Lark would have stayed away from anything that is particularly addictive.
Okay.
Or dangerous, or can get you hooked, or is expensive. So then I again smile and sort of like turn to him and say, "Sorry, friend, but again, not my style."
Suit yourself. I'm gonna head on. You should probably move on yourself before the guard makes a pass through here. Otherwise, they'll think you're as suspicious as I did. And he'll turn and kind of like start climbing down the wall.
Okay.
Don't mind us, just two dudes hanging out on a roof.
And so yeah, what I would probably do then is I'd probably spend the next few hours just moving from Batman corner to Batman corner.
Alright. In the meantime, everybody else gets their rest and wakes up. Lark still traveling about the city, brooding. Alright. Unaccosted by guards, you do a decent job of avoiding them through sheer luck, if nothing else. That's all this week. I hope you enjoyed. You can find us on Twitter at AeternaP, that's AETERNAP, and at Eldritch Dream. I'd like to thank our patrons from Patreon, Tim Demuse of Filmore's Crossing Podcast, aka LCP DnD, Robin Mims of the Podcast for the Untimely Dead, and Brian Rafe of Action Forge on YouTube. You can help support the show too by becoming our patron on patreon.com/Eldritch Dream. We'd like to thank Cryo Chamber for allowing us to use their dark ambient music. You can find more from them at cryochamber.bandcamp.com. We'd like to shout out some other podcasts that are a part of our Discord, The Hive, for the great support they've shown us and all the help they've given us. You should be able to find their Twitter links in the episode description. The Hideous Laughter Podcast. For a gothic horror Pathfinder actual play, you can't go wrong with this crew. You'll fail your will save and be rolling on the ground laughing. Filmore's Crossing, also known as DnDLCP, is a spaghetti western 5th edition adventure full of laughs and great moments. You'll be hooked before you know it. Weal or Woe is a Pathfinder 2nd edition playtest actual play, with amazing characters, an engaging story, and an awesome homebrew world. Roll for sense motive. Oh, wait. The Roaring Trainers is a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons Pokemon actual play that is just what will hit the spot for any grown Pokemon fans. Equal parts awesome, funny, cute, and dark, this podcast will make your fingers go abracadabra alakazam on that follow and subscribe button. Hex Grid Heroes is a rare Starfinder actual play that will take place in a homemade campaign and is filled with dark and awesome sci-fi skullduggery. Just don't let Edgar out of your sight. Thanks for listening, folks. Go ahead and finish your drinks, and we'll see you next time on the Eterna Podcast.